Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And she's here for now. Unfortunately, she's starting to get sick too.
Yes, he's corrupted me.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to corrupt you with my crud. Yeah, so for now we're both together, so we might have to switch off here in a couple days. But we're going to talk about AI and Disney and them doubling down on AI. This is not good news for people who want to avoid everything that has to do with AI. I mean,
nope, you're not going to be able to. I mean, just searching. If you go to Target or even Amazon now, they have AI assistants.
Yeah.
On there, that you go to search a review, they'll use AI to help you find what you need to find. You know, there's no way to avoid it.
There's no way to avoid it. And I was actually going to do a podcast episode, and I might do one at a later date. You know, my feelings on it as an artist and how it's going to be integrated into literally everything we do. And that's basically where we're at, right? So this is kind of following up with how Hollywood now productions are moving out of LA. Animation is being outsourced from Burbank to other places, and they're looking at like scattering things to the wind. And basically,
you fascist.
Yeah, I know, right? Basically, what is happening is there will be fewer jobs.
Right or wrong?
Right or wrong. I'm not saying I 100% agree with this. But what used to take 10 people might only take 1 or 2 people with the assistance of AI. Now, you still, for now, have to have a human overseer because AI does make mistakes. It's not quite there yet. And I don't think it's ever going to fully replace humans. But just like we made the transition from analog art tools to digital art tools, we're now making the transition from doing everything being done by humans to there being a lot of AI assistance.
That's true, but there's a difference because even you had digital art tools, you still had to do the work. Now something else comes in and does the work for you, so it's not really the same.
I'm trying to be optimistic,
but this is not. Okay. Anyway, so what's going on is the Wrap put out an article about a rumor. So it is a rumor. I want to preface by saying it's a rumor. I honestly think it's true.
I think it's 100% true.
I'll explain when we talk about this why I think it's true. So before we get into it any further,
please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Go out to clownfishminus.com. You guys have been great. Our first month out, you guys have been amazing. Thank you so much. You can join the Reef, get exclusive podcasts and other content. We're still trying to figure out what the Reef is, but yeah, we do have a community over there. You get merch discounts. You can buy our merch. We got more merch coming. I think we're going to do ugly sweaters.
Yeah, that's what we're working on. So what's going on is the Wrap had put up this article. Okay, I'm explaining it to Neon because I'm the one who covered it before. Okay. And now they're saying that Disney is getting ready to announce a major AI initiative, according to their sources. So this hasn't been confirmed. This is just rumor, but I believe it because comments Bob Iger has made in the recent past. Right. So they said that the initiative is said to involve hundreds of people involved. Does that mean replace? They just say involve.
I think it means I personally think it means they're going to find people who can be effective bot wranglers, and they're going to work with them, and eventually they will probably stop outsourcing as much work to human workers.
They said the primary focus of this new AI initiative is post-production and visual effects. Now, the VFX workers recently unionized because they were being overworked.
There does, I hate to be that guy, but I'm going to be that guy. There does seem to be a definite correlation between a group of people unionizing, and then whoopsie-doopsie, you're being replaced with robots not long after.
Right.
Just saying.
So they're saying that for sure it's going to involve post-production and visual effects. Another individual said it would also involve parks and experiences, but not the customer-facing, which says to me they're going to turn around and they're going to use your information and try to detect trends to know what to upsell you on, to try to get more money out of you on Disney Plus or in the theme parks or whatever to get you buy more shit. And they were doing something like this before, but it was an algorithm. It wasn't AI. So I'm thinking that's probably what's going to go on.
They're going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing and creeping it up until you pretty much will not have a choice but to accept it. I mean, the real problem with AI is when it does scrape people's content or whatever without their permission, or replicate their voice without permission. But even without their permission, there's enough data out there that AI can do a lot of the grunt work, and that's what they're going to be using it for. And I guarantee you, because the consumer, the layman's AI is pretty advanced now. I mean, even ChatGPT has come so far since I first started using it, experimenting with it a couple of years ago. it's pretty damn good, right? And that's like not even close to what the Cadillac of AI has to offer. And we're seeing that there are companies developing software that can animate entire scenes from prompts. And can you imagine if you team that up with, okay, well, we'll just feed you all of the models for all the characters, and we're going to tell you to make, you know, this character do that, and, you know, here's where the explosion goes, and here, yeah, it's going to be a thing. And
yeah, this isn't the first time. Lionsgate, we talked about before. They did the runway, you know, deal they did with them, and it's also for pre and post production.
Yep.
On film and TV. So a lot of it has to do with speeding up the process to get shows out quicker. Now, this doesn't surprise me in the least when it comes to Bob Iger, especially because Iger was at the Canva Create Showcase. We talked about this because Iger, who is part owner of Canva, he owns a bunch of Canva, and he also is on their board. And they're tripling down on AI. So he was there speaking, and he said, Walt Disney himself would be a big believer in using technology in the early days to tell better stories. And he thought that technology in the hands of a great storyteller was unbelievably powerful. But you still have to have a storyteller that's great. Don't fixate on its ability to be disruptive. Fixate on tech's ability to make us better and to tell better stories without all the stinky people in the way. Not only better stories, but to reach more people, because we'll use the AI algorithms to find out who we can show this to. And you're never going to get in the way of it. You're not going to be able to get away. You're not going to be able to get out of the way of it. There isn't a generation of human beings that have ever been able to stand in the way of technological advancement.
Yeah, this is true. I mean, I'm not trying to be that guy, but this is why
I believe it. This is why I completely believe that this is going to be announced, because Iger himself has been pushing it over at Canva. Do I believe that they're going to use it at Disney? Hell yeah.
Yes, 100%. And I'm really torn on this because I don't think he's wrong about Walt Disney. I'm going to be honest. Walt loved technology. He loved the latest gadget. He loved the latest thing. And Walt infamously was anti-union after his employees turned on him, right? And he basically, his whole attitude shifted, and he was like, we do what we can do as cheap as we can do it. You know, we do it as good as we can do it, but also, you know, anything we can do to speed up production. He would have been all about it.
Well,
I guarantee it.
You have the VFX workers complaining about crunch and the demands. So they're already doing stuff to try to speed that up. You know, I don't think they're going to hire more workers to run that stuff. They're just going to replace certain elements of it with the AI. Now they're saying, as far as it coming into operations, they said one of the most diversified and data-intensive entertainment companies on earth, Disney, producing countless models and collecting tons of data about everything from the way that guests of its theme park spend their money and time to what you're watching on Disney+. So, of course, they've bragged about this. Of course they're going to use AI.
Yeah.
To so we can get more money.
Yeah,
we can figure out how to nudge them for more, and that's what they're going to do, because it's all about money.
Well, I had a conversation today, and I'm not going to name the company, but our internet service provider, and I basically asked the tech. I said, "Why is our service so crappy now compared to what it used to be?" And he told me, he said, we're doing a lot of it with AI now, and it's sometimes it's right and sometimes it's wrong. But again, you have to realize this is early stage AI, and yeah, it's making a lot of mistakes. But like I said, just the examples with from when I started using AI to do goofy thumbnails and stuff like that to what it can do now, just in the span of like 2 years, it's come so far.
I don't know if it's been 2 years.
Year and a half, maybe. I mean, it's night and day difference. Like I was looking back at some of the AI thumbnails I did, and I'm like, if I put that same prompt in now, I would get a very different image out of it. And it's not going to slow down. Now, where I really see the value is in speeding up processes, and it is going to eliminate people. I mean, it is. The self-checkout is probably not a good analogy given what happened, but it's definitely going to get rid of people. So, somewhat related, there was an article going around the other day. We were actually going to do a separate video on it, and it's like, it's not really worth it. But they're talking about LA becoming a production graveyard. And now this is dealing mostly with tax incentives, but on top of that, a lot of these productions are moving out of California completely. So you're going to have a 1, 2, 3 punch situation here where LA is too expensive. Productions they're downsizing and they're moving out of state, and a lot of these jobs are being replaced with AI.
Yeah, see, new data released by Film LA just like a week ago says that LA is approaching historically low levels, with a 3-month period from July to September seeing the fewest number of shoot days of the year.
Yeah, so this is the thing. Everybody kept saying, and I'm telling you, that we're not trying to be dicks. We're not trying to be mean. But when we told you what was going to happen,
feelings.
Yeah, we told you what was going to happen after the strike. Doesn't matter what you personally want to happen. I would love for $20 million to drop out of the sky. Guess what? It's not going to happen. That'd be cool if it did,
but
though.
It should. You should hire us as consultants, Hollywood. You'd save yourself at least that much money.
But just as business people, right? As a guy who's been in around businesses, corporations for a long time, I'm looking at this. I'm like, oh, the bosses are going to look at the increased expense of workers. They're going to look at the increased expense of production. They're going to look at their bottom line, which is like, oh yeah, the streaming shows, all stuff we're greenlighting in the last like 4 or 5 years. Yeah, it's bankrupting us. We can't do this anymore. So how can we do things cheaper? And they might give you the deal, and they're very curiously wording the contract. Basically, for those of you who are left, you will get more money.
Well, here's the thing. It's like both is going to be true. They're going to keep shipping it out for tax incentives, and they're going to still get rid of a bunch of you.
Yeah.
So they're going to do whatever they can do to save themselves more money. They're sending more and more to the UK, to Canada. Australia was one. They used to do a bunch in Georgia. But different places, they're sending it where they can get money back, cost them less. They're going to do that, and they're going to switch to AI. You know, to save themselves money. Now, again, I want to point out this is just rumor, but I completely believe it.
They wouldn't. I don't think they would have run with it. They're sounding the alarm bells, but they're trying not to be dicks about it.
Here's what I'm thinking is going to happen. So they don't know when they're going to announce it. My money's somewhere around the Q4 earnings call, because I have a feeling it's not going to be great, because they already were prepping people last earnings call for decline in like the theme parks and different things. And we saw a lot of deals getting announced for, Disney Plus and Hulu and things like that. So they're trying to drive up those numbers as well, which would have crossed into the quarter in the new fiscal year. So I have a feeling if they were going to drop this, because they do their meeting now before the opening bell, or around the time up, to try to, not come out of it going down, but come into it trying to hope it goes up. They might announce it at the meeting, trying to hope that it, drives the stock up that day. I don't know that for sure. They said they're going to announce at some point, but right now, this is just all hearsay. But I do think it makes sense. And given Bob Iger's stance in the past, completely believe it.
Yeah, it's inevitable. I mean, and this is so weird. Like, we spent years telling people what Disney was actually like. That the whole family-friendly, community-first, progressive Disney, well, that version of Disney is a facade. That at the end of the day, they're a for-profit company, and some of the stuff that they do to their employees is pretty shitty. Some of the stuff
they do to guests lately is pretty shitty too.
Yeah, and we're starting to see it now. Like whatever illusions you had about Disney. I mean, I think that regardless of, and this isn't even a political thing. This is just like, this is a for-profit company, and they're going to do what they have to do to maximize their profits. That's Bob Iger's only concern, is how much money can we get so I can look good to the shareholders. And they're going to do what they got to do. That means getting rid of a bunch of you, and especially the ones that's what I'm saying. You keep your damn head down, because if you're going to be out there on social media complaining about shit all the time, guess what? You're going to get cut. It's going to make it very, very easy to cut you, and they're going to use the excuse. Yeah, we just didn't need you anymore. Thank you, but we don't need you anymore. It's very painful to downsize like this, but we have to do what's best for the company. And that's it. So we're going to wrap it up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.
Join the reef. Go to clownfishminus.com. That's clownfishminus.com. You will get exclusive access to podcasts and videos and comic strips and more, as well as merch discounts. Check it out. If you were a member, you could get this t-shirt, this dismal t-shirt, on our website. You'd get a 10% discount on that. You can also join in the community on clownfishminus.com. Thank you so much for the support.